Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called Miracle Oil. Today's memory verse is from Psalms 95:7. It says, "He is our God, and we are under His care." The message for today's story is, God uses others to love and care for us. When Elijah was hungry, someone shared a special meal with him. Elijah had been camping at the little brook for a long time, but the water no longer splashed along. There had been no rain, and the water in the little brook was almost gone. Elijah studied the clear blue sky. There wasn't a rain cloud in sight for miles. Elijah knew why. God's special people were still praying to Baal for rain, but God wanted them to understand that He was the one who sent the rain, not an idol, and it would not rain until God said so. Suddenly God spoke to Elijah. "Go to the village Zarephath," he said. "A widow woman there will feed you." Elijah quickly started down the dusty road to Zarephath. When Elijah reached the village gates, he saw a woman gathering small sticks. Elijah was hot and thirsty from his long walk. "Would you please bring me a cup of water?" he asked the woman. "And please bring me a little bread, too." The woman turned to Elijah with tears in her eyes. She said, "I don't have any bread in my home. I only have a handful of flour and a little oil. I'm going home now to make a fire with these few sticks. I will cook one last meal for my son and me, and then we will die, because we have nothing left to eat." Elijah smiled at the woman. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Go ahead, cook the meal, but make a little loaf for me first. God promises that there will always be plenty of flour and oil in your containers, and you will not run out of food until He sends the rain again and new food begins to grow." Well, the widow woman believed the words of the Lord, so she did as Elijah asked her to. She went home and began to cook. Elijah sat and sipped his water as the woman made a little loaf of bread for him. He watched as she measured just the right amount of oil and flour. He then saw her mix them together to make bread dough. Soon he could smell the bread as it slowly baked. Oh, what a treat it was to have good, fresh bread again. For more than 3 years there was no rain, and nothing could grow. But the widow's flour and oil never ran out. God had provided food and water in the past, and He would provide it now for Elijah and the kind widow and her son.
This podcast was brought to you by Studio El Piso and Gracelink.net. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.